Welcome students. Today I am going to start Unit 3. Unit 3 is based on network layers. In this we will be covering logical addressing. Logical addressing which which work at network third layer, which is nothing but network layer. Then internetworking means how different networks are connected. Tunneling. Tunneling means how IP version 6 and IP version 4 they communicate with each other. That is nothing but tunneling. Address mapping, ICMP, IGMP, Internet Group Message Management Protocol, then forwarding, routing, flooding, Bellman and Ford discharge routing protocol, RIP, OSPF, Open Shortest Path First, BGP, and after that we will see the multicast routing protocol. Then we will see the connecting devices such as passive hubs, repeaters, active hubs, bridges, routers. Out of this, the most asked question is distance vector. This is the most asked question. So you better pay some attention on distance vector, how distance vector works. And that is one of the important topic. Another important topic is tunneling. How tunneling works. Tunneling will be for short answer question, distance vector for long answer question. You pay attention for that. Logical addressing. The packet transmitted by the sending computer may pass through several local area networks or wide area networks before reaching the destination computer. For this level of communication, we need a global addressing scheme. We call this logical addressing. So the logical addressing is a global addressing scheme. It is not physical addressing. It is global addressing. Physical addressing means one physical network to another physical network. One switch to another switch. That's all. Whereas global addressing means it spans across networks. It's spread across the network. Today we use the term IP address to mean a logical address in the network layer of the TCP/IP protocols. The internet address are 32 bits in length. This gives us a maximum of 2 to the power 32 addresses. These addresses are referred to as IP version 4. Addresses are simply IP addresses if there is no confusion. So we can call it as IP version 4 or IP addresses simply. They are 32 bits in length and total will be 2 to the power 32. The need of more addresses in addition to other concerns about the IP layer motivated a new design of the IP layer called the Nero generation of IP or IP version 6. In this version, the internet uses 128-bit addresses that gives much greater flexibility in address allocation. These addresses are referred to as IP version 6 addresses. So we will be seeing basically IP version 4 and IP version 6. IP version 4 is the current existing system and IP version 6 it will come in the future. Some of the computers are still using IP version 6 also. So IP version 6 uses 128 bits. It uses 128 bits, whereas IP version 4 uses 32 bits. An IP version 4 address is a 32-bit address that uniquely and universally defines the connection of a device, for example, computer or network to the internet. IP version 4 addresses are unique. They are unique in the sense that each address defines one and only one connection to the internet. Two devices on the internet can never have the same address at the same time. The IP version 4 addresses are unique and universal. A protocol such as IP version 4 that defines addresses has an address space. An address space is the total number of addresses used by the protocol. If a protocol uses n bit to define an address, the address space is 2 to the power n because each bit can have two different values. And n bit can have 2 to the power n value. IP version 4 uses 32-bit address, which means that the address space is 2 to the power 32 or 4294967 or more than 4 billion. So the IP version 4 uses 2 to the power 32 addresses. It is more than 4 billion addresses. Notation. There are two prevalent notations to show an IP version 4. Binary notation and dotted decimal notation. In binary notation, the numbers will be zeros and ones, whereas in dotted notation, the numbers will be in decimal number, in decimal notation. In binary notation, the IP version 4 address is displayed as 32 bits. Each octet is often referred to as byte. So it is common to hear an IP version 4 address referred to as 32-bit address or a 4-byte address. The following is an example of an IP version 4 address in binary notation. So this is an example 011101001 and so on. This is an IP version. So this is binary notation. The address will be in binary notation. It will be in zeros and ones. Dotted decimal notation. To make the IP version address more compact and easier to read, the internet address are usually written in decimal form with a decimal point, dot separating the byte. The following is the dotted decimal notation of the above address. So this is the decimal notation. It will be in the form of decimal numbers, and they are separated by a dot. They are written in decimal form with a decimal point separating the bytes. So each byte is separated by a dot. So this is dotted decimal notation in binary notation for an IP version 4 address. As you can see here, the top one, this is the binary version. The bottom one is the decimal notation. Note that because each byte octet is 8 bits, each number is dotted decimal notation is a value ranging from 0 to 255. Now classful addressing. IP version 4 addressing at its inception used the concept of classes. This architecture is called classful addressing. Although this scheme is becoming obsolete, we briefly discuss it here to show the rationale behind classless addressing. In classful addressing, the address space is divided into 5 classes: A, B, C, D, and E. So in classful addressing, the addresses are divided into 5 classes: A, B, C, D, and E. Each class occupies some part of the address space. Finding the classes in binary and dotted decimal notation. So these are the different classes: class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. The first byte determines the class A. The left side gives this one gives the binary notation. The right side gives the dotted decimal notation. The first bits or the first numbers, dotted decimal numbers, gives us the which class the network belongs to, whether it belongs to class A, class B, class D, class C, and so on. Classes and blocks. So one problem with classful addressing is that each class is divided into fixed number of blocks, with each block having a fixed size. So class A is having number of blocks as 128, block size as 167772216. That is the block size, and application uses unicast. Similarly, B has a number of blocks of 16,384 and block size is 65,536 and used in unicast applications, and so on. So we can see that C, D, E also have a fixed number of block size and its application. Class C is used in unicast, class D is used in multicast, and class E is reserved. It is a reserved Class A addresses were designed for large organizations with a large number of attached hosts or routers. Class B addresses were designed for mid-sized organizations with tens of thousands of attached hosts or routers. Class C addresses were designed for small organizations with a small number of attached hosts or routers. We can see the flaw in this design. A block in Class A address is too large for almost any organization. This means most of the addresses in Class A were wasted and not used. A block in Class B is also very large, probably too large for many of the organizations that receive a Class B block. A block in Class A is probably too small for many organizations. Class D addresses were designed for multicasting. Each address in this class is used to define one group of hosts on the internet. The Internet Authority wrongly predicted a need for 268.435.456 groups. This never happened, and many addresses were wasted here too. And lastly, the Class C addresses were reserved for future use. Only a few were used, resulting in another waste of addresses. So there is a lot of wastage of addresses in Class A, Class B, and Class C. Network ID and host ID. In classful addressing, the IP address in Class A, B, C are divided into network ID and host ID. These parts are of varying lengths depending on the class of the address. So only three classes were divided into network ID and host ID. What are those? A, B, C. Class A, B, C are divided into network ID and host ID. Network ID is in color and host ID is in white. Note that the concept does not apply to classes D and E. So this concept, network ID and host ID, does not apply to classes D and E. In Class A, 1 byte defines the network ID and 3 bytes define the host ID. In Class B, 2 bytes defines the network ID and 2 bytes define the host ID. In Class C, 3 bytes define the network ID and 1 byte defines the host ID. As you can see, 1 byte defines the network ID and 3 bytes define the host ID. In dotted decimal, it is 255, which is in color. Colored is the network ID and the white color is the host ID. CIDR is 8, 16 and 24 for class A, B and C. So 2 bytes are defined for network ID for class B and 3 bytes are defined for network ID for class C. These are the leftmost bits. Mask. Although the length of the network ID and host ID in bits is predetermined in classical addressing, we can also use a mask, also called the default mask. A 32-bit number made of contiguous ones followed by contiguous zeros. The mask for class A, B, and C are shown in table. The concept does not apply to class D and E. The mask can help us find the network ID and host ID. The last column of table shows the mask in the form /n, where n can be 8, 16, or 24 and classful addressing. This notation is also called slash notation or classless interdomain routing. Classless interdomain routing. So CIDR stands for classless interdomain routing notation. Subnetting. During the era of classful addressing, subnetting was introduced. If an organization was granted a large block in Class A or Class B, it could divide the addresses into several contiguous groups and assign each group to smaller networks called subnets, or in rare cases, share part of the addresses with neighbors. Subnetting increases the number of ones in the mask. Supernetting. The time came when most of the Class A and Class B addresses were depleted. However, there was still a huge demand for mid-sized block. The size of Class C block with a maximum number of 256 addresses did not satisfy the needs of most organizations. Even a mid-sized organization needed more addresses. First solution was supernetting. In supernetting, an organization can combine several Class C blocks to create a large range of addresses. So in this, a Class C block will be created to form a large range of addresses. In other words, several networks are combined to create a super network or a supernet. Address depletion. The flaws in classical addressing scheme combined with the fast growth of the internet led to the near depletion of the available addresses. Yet the number of devices on the internet is much less than 2 to the power 32 address space. We have run out of class A and B addresses, and class C block is too small for most mid-sized organization. So one solution that has elevated the problem is the idea of classless addressing. So next we will see the classless addressing. Classless addressing to overcome address depletion and give more organization access to the internet. Classless addressing was designed and implemented. In this scheme, there are no classes, but the addresses are still granted in blocks. So basically, in classless addressing, there are no classes, but the addresses are still granted in blocks. Address block. In classless addressing, when an entity, small or large, needs to be connected to the internet, it is granted a block of addresses. The size of block varies based on the nature and size of the entity. For example, a household may be given only 2 addresses. A large organization may be given thousands of addresses. An ISP, as the internet service provider, may be given thousands or hundred of thousands based on the number of customers it may serve. Restriction. To simplify the handling of addresses, the Internet authorities impose 3 restrictions on classless address blocks. The address in a block must be contiguous, one after another. The number of addresses in a block must be a power of 2, and the first address must be evenly divisible by the number of addresses. Mask. A better way to define a block of addresses is to select any address in the block and the mask. As we discussed before, a mask is a 32-bit number in which the n leftmost bits are ones and 32 minus n rightmost bits are zeros. However, in classless addressing, the mask for a block can take any value from 0 to 32. It is very convenient to keep just the value of n preceded by a slash. Classless interdomain notation. With this, I will stop here.